Hello, I'm back with another video today, and I've wanted to film this for a little while now, so today's the day that I sit down and I talk about fear, my experience, and just how I've gotten over it a little bit over this whole situation. So I'll begin with a few stories just to give you an idea of what it's been like all my life. It all started when I was really little. I fainted once seeing something on TV. My mom was watching her hospital shows. I've just always been uncomfortable with things going through your skin, just any sort of poke like that. When my little cousin was born and we went to see her at the hospital, they pricked her foot, and just the click from that and the thought of what was going on was enough for me to faint. I smacked my head on the floor. They rushed me down to emergency to check me out. And yeah, not my proudest moment, but that happened in grade 7 and 8. My mom used to come to school when they were giving us shots, and she'd bring me a blanket so I could lie on the floor. She'd bring me juice boxes to get my sugars up. I'd have to be away from the other kids so I could not see any of them get their shots. And then if we fast forward to last summer, when my doctor wanted me to get blood work done, I kind of had this stance where it's like, if you think I'm okay, I would really rather not get this blood work done. So I'm just gonna keep living my life, and hopefully this will all go away. Eventually in December, I did have to get the blood work done, and me getting it done took 1 month. I kid you not. Multiple lab visits, weeks of crying, just being so anxious, knowing that I had to do it and being mad at myself at the same time because I was thinking that I couldn't do it. Just thinking, oh, I can't give my arm to someone that has a needle around. Like, I can't let them do that. I knew it was silly, but it was just uncontrollable. And when I went in for a biopsy, I thought I was in control until I wasn't. I thought I was fine, and the next thing I knew, I was waking up, lying there on the table with my mom over me on one side, the doctor on the other side. They're calling my name, and it was like that blurry moment in a movie when you wake up. That was the last time I fainted, but the worst I think I've gotten in terms of my anxiety for this is at my CT scan. I even had doctors prescribe me things to help calm my nerves for the days leading up, for in the moment. We had this whole game plan, and it all went out the window as soon as I got there. I took an hour of crying and hyperventilating in the hall, people staring at me, the nurses trying to talk me into it, for me to actually go in, let them put the IV in, and get the scan done. I'd say that's a pretty good snapshot of my whole journey with this fear and different situations I've found myself in. But I never thought it was a big deal until I actually had to face it. At the end of the day, like, it's a needle. It's just something so small that goes through your skin. It's meant to help you, and it's meant for your own health. But I was just so against it, and it let this fear dictate what I could and couldn't do. In February, once I got diagnosed, I started seeing a psychiatrist to start exposure therapy, because this is something that I knew I needed to get a handle on if I was going to get through all of these treatments. So exposure therapy is basically when you start ranking your fears from 1 to 10, for example, and you work your way up, getting comfortable at each level before you move to the next level. So one day we looked at a picture of a needle, and once I got comfortable with that, I was able to see a real needle. And then once I was comfortable with that, I was able to hold the needle. So it's basically giving yourself little doses of that fear so that when you go to the next step, it's not as big as it was before. Let me tell you, if you are determined to get through this, it really does work, and I was making great progress very quickly. After 1 or 2 sessions, I had a syringe with a cap like in my purse, and I was just carrying that around with me. I now know how strong my mind is and how much I can actually get done if I just feel the need to, or I acknowledge that I want to. I acknowledge that this fear is something I need to get rid of if I want to be able to live my life. And So I'm gonna do it. I just need to do what I need to do right now, even if it's scary. Today, I can tell you I feel stronger than ever. I feel like I can take on the world, as corny as that sounds, but it is true. I now know that if you want to accomplish something, it's all about putting yourself in the right position to do it and taking the necessary steps, no matter how small they are, to get to that position in the end. Proof of how far I've come is my most recent PET scan. I had to go in alone. I had to get an intravenous, and I wasn't even scared for it. I was more scared that I wasn't scared. I didn't need any meds to keep me calm this time. I had numbing cream on my arm, which didn't even work, and I was still okay. And even feeling the pulsating in my veins from the dye that they were injecting, it didn't even bother me at the time. I just had a nice conversation with the nurses, and I was really amazed with myself and very proud of myself in the end. It was very rewarding to say I did that by myself and I was okay. That's just proof of how far you can come in 6 months. I used to be hyperventilating, have no control over my body, and now I feel like a boss when I come out of the hospital and I say I did that. I think that's all I have to say. I hope this video helped at least one person. That would be enough. But I even get anxious just talking about it, so I think it was good for me to sit down, talk about it. I'll have this video to look back on in the future. But thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good day.